This year's FIFA World Cup gave our family more than 90 minutes of football. We were able to go watch Ghana play, and our children loved every minute of it. Our Atlas has been working overtime throughout this tournament because the questions just keep on coming. Where's that country? Which countries are close to it? What languages do they speak? Have we ever been there? Why does that player represent that country instead of somewhere else? Those questions led us into conversations about geography, history, migration, identity, belonging, and family connections across countries. One of the conversations began when we noticed two brothers representing two different national teams. Same family, different countries, different flags. That gave us an opportunity to talk about how children and adults can grow up connected to more than one country, language, or culture. A person can feel connected to the country where they are born, the country where they live, and the country their family comes from. Many children move between different expectations, traditions, and ways of communicating every day. At home, at school, with friends, with extended family. That is adaptation. The World Cup also gave us opportunities to talk about cultural pride. Supporters singing together, families wearing their national colors, flags waving throughout the stadium, national anthems sung with pride, players celebrating in ways that reflected their communities and traditions. Children get to see that identity is something people express openly. They also see that people can be deeply connected to where they come from while sharing that moment with people from all over the world. We also noticed something else. Some countries were spoken about differently before the match had even started. Expectations were different. The language used to describe certain teams was different. Teams with many players from migrant backgrounds were sometimes discussed as though their connection to the country needed explaining. That is worth paying attention to, because the same pattern can influence how children are interpreted. A multilingual child may be assumed to be confused. A child connected to more than one culture may be pressured to choose one. A child who communicates differently at home, school, or with extended family may be described as inconsistent because the expectations are different in each of those environments. This is where the cultural SEL lens becomes helpful. It encourages us to pause before deciding what something means. What environments is this child moving through? What expectations are they navigating? What strengths are they showing? What assumptions might be shaping my interpretation? For our family, the World Cup became much more than football. It became an opportunity to explore the world together, answer curious questions, and notice how identity, belonging, adaptation, pride, and bias can all show up in the same experience. Sometimes the best conversations begin because a child asked one simple question. And when we stay curious, instead of rushing to an answer, we often discover that the question was never just about football. It was about understanding people, the places they call home, and the many ways children learn to make sense of the world around them. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I'm Faith, and this is Cultural SEL, where we make sense of children's social, emotional, and cultural experiences across the different environments they're part of, so we, as adults, can better understand and respond to the children we support.